Welcome to Dynamo MC Show Me How Step 3. This video will show you how to select, format, and correct the rows within your data. For the most recent information, you may also check the help page at www.dynamoappraiser.com using the link below. Now that we've identified the columns found in our data, we can provide our effective date here. This defaults to the current date, but you can change it for whatever reason. Enter the date or click the calendar icon to select the correct date for your appraisal. You'll notice that Dynamo MC has removed the non-essential columns from our data in this view. Our remaining columns are shown here. Use the Select column here to remove any unwanted rows from the analysis. You may need to do this if your MLS data has had its heading row repeated or if any junk data has appeared. You may also choose to do this if you have decided that a specific property in your data is not comparable. When working on a condo appraisal, the Using Condo Analysis column will be shown here. Use this to identify which properties are located in the same project as the subject. These are the data that will be used to populate the condo section on the 1004 MC form. You may want to select the checkbox in the very first row to check or uncheck all rows. We can also make any modifications to our data if we spot an error by clicking and typing in any other cell. The status column here works a bit differently than the other columns. Dynamo MC has a list of recognized status names that it will use to identify your status values. It looks for sold, active, pending, or inactive. If Dynamo MC indicates that it does not recognize a status used by any row in your data, you can teach Dynamo MC the status name your data uses by clicking the Manage Status Names button here. You'll notice that the date columns here appear slightly different from the others. These columns have additional options so that the date format can correctly be identified. When you choose a date format from this select box, an attempt to format that column with the current format will be made. If this formatting resulted in a success, the contents of a cell will be shown in gray, and the value can no longer be changed. If you wish to change a value, you must select the Editable Values option first. This will cause the value to once again be editable. Once you have made your editing changes, you can once again attempt to apply a date format. On the other hand, if this formatting resulted in a failure, the contents of a cell will be shown in red. In this case, the value can still be changed so that you can make corrections to the date if necessary. In most cases, though, you may want to double-check the date format you chose, especially if multiple rows are appearing in error at once. While you can manage the format for each date column individually, you can more easily change all of them by using the main date format here and selecting the Apply button. For the most part, you can safely ignore dates until an error is presented to you. When you do not specify a date format, the Auto Detect option will be applied for you when you click the Next button. You may also choose to click the Revert All Date Fields to Original Values button here to completely return all of the date columns and formats to their original values. Dynamo MC also runs a number of validation checks on your data during this step. For example, it will make sure that all prices are numeric, all of your dates are valid, and that all sold properties have a sale price and a closing date. Some of these checks are done as you type, while others will only appear when you click the Next button. When an error is found, you will be notified of the problem, and you will have to manually correct the issue in the data prior to continuing to the next step. When we are done with this step, we can now click Next. This concludes this help video. If you are still having problems, please check the help page at www.dynamoappraiser.com using the link below. You may always reach us at support@dynamoappraiser.com.